The joke landed wrong because it wasn't a joke. We were standing in her mother's kitchen, fluorescent lights buzzing like a bad conscience, wine glasses half full. Her cousin's name floated between us like smoke. "You should date her," my fiancé said, smiling. "She has standards." Everyone laughed. I didn't. I watched her face instead of her mouth, the way her eyes never checked mine. The way she took a sip, slow, confident, like she'd already won something I didn't know we were competing for. "Good to know," I said. My voice sounded fine, steady, unbothered. Inside, something shifted. Not anger, not yet. Calibration. That night, when she fell asleep beside me, breathing light, peaceful, undeserved, I lay awake staring at the ceiling fan, counting rotations, replaying the joke, the tone, the familiarity. At 11:47 p.m., I found the cousin's number in a group chat from a family barbecue months ago. I stared at it. Then I pressed call. She answered on the third ring. Slightly surprised, curious. I didn't explain. I didn't flirt. I just said, "Your cousin told me you have standards. I wanted to hear them from you." Silence, then a laugh. Not cruel, not kind, measured. That's when I knew the joke had layers. Oh. The next morning, my fiancée kissed my cheek like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't casually rearranged my value in front of an audience. I watched her differently after that. Not suspicious, observant. She texted more, hid less. That was the part that bothered me. People hiding something usually hide badly. She didn't. She was comfortable. Too comfortable for someone faithful. I started noticing the patterns. The way she'd mention her cousin's name casually, like seasoning. The way her phone always faced down now. No rush, no panic. Just habit. Confidence. At dinner one night I asked, "How often do you talk to her?" She didn't hesitate. "Not much." Lie. Clean, immediate, practiced. I nodded and kept eating. Inside, I catalogued everything. Timestamps, overlaps. The nights she worked late that aligned with the cousins. Instagram stories, same bar, same lighting, posted minutes apart. I didn't confront. I didn't accuse. I adjusted. I met the cousin for coffee. Neutral place, daylight, no secrets. She watched me carefully, like she was deciding what version of me I was allowed to see. "She jokes a lot," she said, stirring her cup. "Sometimes jokes are safer than truth." I smiled. "Depends who's laughing." Her eyes flickered. That was confirmation enough to keep going. Over the next weeks, I learned things without asking. Body language is generous when you stop needing reassurance. I learned how betrayal looks when it thinks it's invisible. And I learned something else. They didn't think I was dangerous. They thought I was manageable. That was their last mistake. A month after the joke, her family hosted a small engagement dinner. Everyone dressed well, everyone pretending. I arrived late, with her cousin on my arm. The room went silent before anyone could speak. And, for the first time since that night in the kitchen, I smiled. Because this was only the beginning. She froze when she saw us. Not shock, recognition, like a trap snapping shut exactly where she'd stepped. I felt it beside me, the cousin's hand tightening around my arm. Not fear, understanding. She knew what this was. She'd known the moment I asked her to come. The room waited for explanations. I offered none. We took our seats, across from my fiancée, close enough to hear her breathing change. Fast, shallow. The way it does when someone realizes the story. They rehearsed won't be used tonight. Dinner started. Forks clinked. No one spoke to us directly. Eyes kept drifting, calculating damage. I watched my fiancée unravel in slow motion. The smile she wore was brittle. Her hand shook when she lifted her glass. She didn't look at me. She couldn't. Halfway through the meal, she leaned in and whispered my name. I ignored it. That hurt her more than any confrontation would have. After dessert, her mother asked, gently, how we all knew each other so well. That was my opening. I took a joke seriously. I said, calm, even. I figured standards mattered. The cousin released my arm and stood. Not dramatically, with purpose. I didn't know he was engaged, she said. At first. A pause. Neither did I, she added. The truth landed heavy. No shouting, No theatrics. Just facts. Clean cuts. My fiancée stood abruptly, chair scraping too loud. She tried to speak. Failed. Tried again. You planned this, she said, eyes wild now. You humiliated me. I looked at her for the first time that night. No, I said. You introduced me. Silence. I reached into my jacket and placed my phone on the table. Screen up, messages open, dates aligned, names unmistakable. I just paid attention. Her face collapsed. Not into tears, into something worse. Exposure. She left the room without another word. No one followed. I didn't chase her. I stood, thanked her parents for dinner, and walked out with the cousin into the cold night air. The engagement ring felt heavy in my pocket. Useless. At the curb, she stopped. You didn't do this for me, she said. No, I replied. I did it because I don't like being edited out of my own life. She nodded, stepped back. No promises, no future, just mutual clarity. Later, alone, I placed the ring on the kitchen counter where she'd made the joke. I didn't leave a note. I didn't need to. Some people think betrayal is loud, messy, explosive. It isn't. It's quiet. It assumes you won't notice. They're wrong. And as I closed the door behind me for the last time, I felt nothing at all, which is how I knew I'd won.